Part 2. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 11. Zhang Chen and the others were going to Hainan, which caused a sensation in the troop. That evening, under the tallow trees and camphor trees, 5 tables formed a long strip, and many people cooked and brought out vegetables in the corridor. For the first time, Feng Logui bought 10 bottles of Qian Baishao. The martial arts students stopped going out to join the society. They went to the shop below, walked around, pointed at the dishes he put on the chopping board, and talked to the boss. He said, "Fry all the dishes in your store and send them to the top. Someone will come to pay the bill in 2 days." "Where's the one in the refrigerator?" the boss asked. "Together. Then all I have left is noodles and rice cakes." The boss looked at them and said, "Let's get it all done together. Remember, someone will come to pay the Wu opera troupe in 2 days." The boss smiled broadly. Don't worry, you guys from the Wu opera troupe, I still can't believe it, they are all old neighbors." One of them saw a box of coconut juice piled with beer in the corner and said, "Sister Zhen likes to drink this. Boss, bring this box of coconut juice up too." Several people returned to Jiao Fang. There were many people sitting around the table. Teacher Li was sitting at the top, which was the upper seat. Sitting next to them were a few old men. A few martial arts students were opposite Zhang Chen and the others. "Sit down." In the small shop below, food was delivered to the top one after another, and every time it was delivered, there was a burst of exclamation, followed by a burst of wind and residual clouds. Halfway through the drink, Teacher Li felt that he should say a few words. He stood up and told everyone that we wish Zhang Chen and Gangzi immediate success and make a name for themselves in Hainan. Yes, said drummer Teacher Su, then we will invite our troupe to perform in Hainan for a week. Teacher Su, I'd better ask you to play the drum, someone shouted, and everyone laughed. Teacher Su also smiled and said, "No problem. If they invite me, I can knock on them all day and all night without any problem." "That's not a drum, it's a wooden fish," someone joked, and everyone burst into laughter again. The leading one among the martial arts students stood up, picked up the cup, and said to Zhang Chen and the others, "Brother Chen, Brother Gang, Sister Zhen, Sister Li, and Sister Mei, I won't say much else. I'm stupid and can't say it. If anything happens to you in Hainan, just give me a call and we'll kill you without saying a word. Come over." "Okay," someone applauded, "then you won't be afraid even if you encounter the Red Detachment of Women. The Women's Army. The Women's Army only needs to send Lu Ligan and Hong Changqing." Everyone laughed again. Zhang Chen, Lu Ligan, Jin Lili, and Tan Shahen all stood up. Su Jianmei was coy, hesitated for a moment and then stood up as well. Everyone clinked their glasses and drank the contents in one gulp. The meal lasted until about 11 o'clock in the evening. Jin Lili and Tan Shahen wanted to help clean up, but Teacher Li and the others drove them away, saying that you had to get up early tomorrow, so you should go back to bed first. As soon as Zhang Chen and Jin Lili returned to the room, there was a knock on the door. Jin Lili opened the door, and it was Su Jianmei standing outside the door, as if she had something to say but hesitated. "Me or Zhang Chen?" Jin Lili asked. "Anything is fine," Su Jianmei said. "What's the matter?" Jin Lili asked. Su Jianmei looked at her, then nodded, and continued to hesitate. Jin Lili said anxiously, "If you have anything to say, just tell Jianmei." "Am I inconvenient?" Zhang Chen asked, "then I'll avoid it." No, Su Jianmei was anxious, "I came here just to tell you that I might not be able to go tomorrow." "Why?" Jin Lili opened her eyes wide. I think I am a girl, Lili, you have Zhang Chen, Tan Shahen has the pole, and I am the only one," Su Jianmei said with a sigh of relief. "What's wrong with one person? We're all in this together. When we get there, if something happens to you, Will we leave it alone? Jin Lily asked curiously. Hey, I can't explain clearly. Suji and Mia looked at Jin Lily and almost cried, I just can't go. She handed Jin Lily a bus ticket from Yongcheng to Hangcheng early the next morning. This is my ticket, please refund it for me. Okay, wait, I'll give you the ticket money, Jin Lily said. No, no, no. Suji and Mia waved her hand and ran away as if running away. After closing the door, Jin Lily and Zhang Chen looked at each other in shock. Jin Lily cursed, what a ghost, how could this happen? Zhang Chen also wondered, yes, Suji and Mia doesn't have a boyfriend. It makes sense if she has a boyfriend. The two of them guessed for a long time, but couldn't guess the reason. How did they know that this afternoon? Suji and Mia still felt uncertain after thinking about it. She went directly to the Cultural Bureau, found Ding Begu, and told the matter to Captain Ding. When Ding Begu heard this, he took her to the conference room nearby and said to her seriously, the nature of this matter is very serious. Do you understand this troubled time? Wu Opera Troupe is in a sensitive period now. By doing this, you are destroying the efforts of your superiors to stabilize the troupe. It will make people in the troupe panic. This is by no means what you imagined. Yes, it's as simple as absenteeism. I'll put it harshly, the worst is to be removed from the list. Do you know that if you are removed from the list, it will be entered into the file? With such a stain, let me tell you, you, Suji and Mia, are doomed in this life. No decent unit will want you, and you will never be able to hold your head up in your life. By the way, how old are you this year? 20. Suji and Mia muttered. Do you have a boyfriend? Suji and Mia shook her head, and Ding Begu said, then let me tell you, with this stain, you will have problems finding a boyfriend. Think about it, who would find someone who has been expelled from the company? Ding Begu's words made Suji and Mia turn pale with fright. She couldn't stop trembling as she sat there. Ding Begu stood up, went to the next door to get a glass of water, came back and placed it in front of Suji and Mia. His tone was a little gentler. Come, drink water, don't worry too much. This hasn't happened yet. You came here and told me yourself. Very good. You saved yourself. Really, in the troupe it's like this among many people. I am optimistic about you. I think your future is very bright. No, today's incident has proved it. Zhang Chen, hum. And that Lu Ligan, hum. People who are arrogant, glib, and free will eventually reach the same goal. They will only harm themselves. You must not get involved with them. You are a good actor. In the future, revitalize Wu. The glory of the troupe depends on people like you, not them. Do you know what you should do? Suji and Mia nodded desperately. Ding Begu looked at it and felt that the weight was not enough. He pointed out a clear way to Suji and Mia. By the way, you just told me that Tan Shahan is leaving too, right? Then think about it, Suji and Mia, after Tan Shahan leaves, who else will be the leading actress in this troupe? Who will play Bai Sahan in the future? Who will play Fan? Liwa? Who can hold up this stage? Yes, after Tan Shahan leaves, who else will be in the troupe? A leader is a leader, his level is high, and his vision is far-sighted. Why didn't he think of this? Suji and Mia was thinking in her heart and couldn't help but raise her eyes and looked at Ding Begu gratefully. Ding Begu was also looking at her. He patted Suji and Mia's shoulder meaningfully and affectionately. Suji and Mia was almost moved to tears. After sending Suji and Mia downstairs and the two of them were about to break up, Ding Begu lowered his voice and said to Suji and Mia, don't tell anyone what you came to see me about today. It's not good for you. Do you understand? I understand, Captain Ding. Goodbye, Captain Ding. Ding Begu returned to the office. He thought for a while, found the address book from the desk drawer, and found Tan Shahan's home phone number. Tan Shahen's father turned out to be a famous Wu opera veteran in the province, and was later transferred to the county cultural center. Retired at the county cultural center. Ding Begu picked up the phone on his desk. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 12. They bought bus tickets from Yongcheng to Hangcheng at 6:20 in the morning. Zhangchen and Jin Lili got up at 5 o'clock. Zhangchen took a towel and toothbrush and was about to go downstairs to wash his face and brush his teeth. Jin Lili called to stop. Got him. Pack up your things first, then wash your face and brush your teeth when you leave, so we can solve it all in one trip, Jin Lili said. Zhangchen looked at her and asked puzzledly, doesn't that mean we have to go upstairs to put the towels and toothbrushes? What are you putting? Throw it away. We are all going to Hainan, Jin Lili said. No more than that. Yes, but Zhangchen, let me tell you, if we go to Hainan and come back in despair, we will be so embarrassed that we won't need a towel, and we won't be able to wash it clean with any number of towels. Jin Lili said seriously, which sounded like burning the boat, and the air in the room became heavy and tragic. The two stopped talking for a while, and silently packed things. Although they said they were sorting things, in fact, there was nothing to sort out, and there was nothing to sort out. It was sorted out early last night. The two people carried their bags, towels, and toothbrushes filled with toothpaste and went downstairs. When passing by the second floor, the two people went to Lu Ligan's room to take a look. From the transom on the door, they saw that the room was dark. Damn, you haven't gotten up yet. Zhangchen knocked on the door, but there was no response. Then he looked at Tan Shahen's room diagonally opposite. The lights were also dark. Jin Lili walked over and knocked on the door, but there was no response. The two stood in the corridor for a while, and Jin Lili left. She said that these two guys must be more excited than us and had already gone downstairs. The two people continued to go downstairs. It was already dawning outside. As soon as they turned the corner of the stairs, they saw a person sitting on the steps of the gate below, with a big backpack beside him. They walked over and saw Lu Ligan sitting there alone, smoking silently, looking at the messy and dilapidated roofs under Jiaofang, thinking about something. Even Zhangchen and Jin Lili did not hear them coming downstairs. Zhangchen kicked Lu Ligan's butt and asked, "Why are you alone, and where is Tan Shahen?" "She went home last night to get some clothes and money." "She kept all the money at home." Lu Ligan stood up and said, "Let's go downstairs to her house. She is waiting for us there." "Okay, one less person," Jin Lili sighed. "What do you mean?" Lu Ligan and Zhangchen both looked at Jin Lili. Jin Lili scolded, "You are pigs. Tan Shahen went back so late yesterday. Her parents must have heard the news and asked someone to call her back. Did she come out after she went back? Her parents still let her go. Is she going to Hainan with you, Lu Ligan?" When Jin Lili said this, Lu Ligan became anxious and shouted, "Go, go, go. We haven't washed our faces and brushed our teeth yet," Jin Lili said. Zhangchen and Jin Lili walked to the pool and each opened a faucet. Lu Ligan saw it and shouted to them, "Then I'll leave first. After you wash up, come over and meet downstairs at Tan Shahen's house." Zhangchen waved his hand, and Lu Ligan ran down the ramp. Tan Shahen's parents have always disagreed with Tan Shahen and Lu Ligan's relationship. They believed that Lu Ligan was slippery and unreliable, and their daughter could not be entrusted to such a person in her life. Lu Lizang came to the door twice, but both times her parents kicked her out, and the gifts she brought were thrown down from the stairs. Her parents were opposed to it, but Tan Shahen wanted to do it, and there was not much they could do. The troupe was out of town for most of the year, and they couldn't always follow Tan Shahen. Even when they returned to Yongcheng, Tan Shahen had to hang her voice every morning. It was impossible to live in the dormitory building of the cultural system, so I had to live in the theater troupe. They had also heard from people in the troupe that Tan Shahen and Lu Ligan had already lived together in the troupe. They were so angry that their teeth were itching, but they were beyond their reach. Pole on the bed. Everyone in the troupe is an old acquaintance, and many are still students of Lao Tan. Their daughter can be shameless, but they cannot afford to be ashamed. Lao Tan once contacted his old acquaintances and wanted to transfer Tan Shahen to the Zhejiangwu opera troupe. They also knew Tan Shahen there and welcomed her vigorously. However, Tan Shahen herself was unwilling. She said that she had gone to Zhejiangwu opera troupe. Su Jianmi, I doesn't even know, why should I go? Second, the troupe and the bureau refused to let go. The old director even personally talked to Lao Tan and told him that if Tan Shahen left, the Wu opera troupe would collapse. Can you, Lao Tan, still be worthy of the people of Yongchang? I will always hate you for the rest of my life. Having said that, Lao Tan had no choice but to give up the idea of transfer. After Zhang Chen and Jin Lili washed up, Zhang Chen looked at the towel and toothbrush in his hand and asked, "Did you really throw them away?" "Throw it away, we are all going to Hainan," Jin Lili said. Zhang Chen took Jin Lili's towel and toothbrush from her hands, looked at them and said, "I don't want them anymore. Take them with you. You can use them on the road." He shook the two toothbrushes and stuffed them into his trouser pockets. He put two towels on each side and put them on his shoulders. Jin Lili cursed, "Oh, either put them in the bag, it's so ugly." Zhang Chen said nonchalantly, "That's it, let it dry before putting it away, otherwise it will stink." After Jin Lili heard what Zhang Chen said, she stopped fussing with the clothes drying rack. The two of them walked down the ramp to the dormitory of the cultural system. Tan Shahen's family lived on the third floor. It was still early, and there was almost no one in the whole yard. In the dormitory building, there were only a few houses with lights on, including Tan Shahen's house. Lu Ligan could see it from a distance. The light in Tan Shahen's room was on, and he quickly quickened his pace. When he walked downstairs, Lu Ligan's heart skipped a beat when he heard Tan Shahen and her parents arguing upstairs. Tan Shahen opened the window with a bang and shouted, "You want to make a quarrel? Okay, come on, what's the shame in quarreling? I'm afraid people will hear me." Her father quickly reached out and closed the window again. Her father attacked and defended at close range, while her mother blocked the door of her room with tenacity. She said to Tan Shahen, "If you want to leave, you can make your parents angry to death first, and then you can step over us. As long as I am still alive, don't even think about stepping out of this door today." Tan Shahen laughed angrily at her mother, and said, "Then I have to go to the toilet." Mother shook her head, "No. Tan Shahen, I have a need to urinate." Mother, "Pull it on." Tan Shahen, "Then I have to poop." Mother, "Pull it on me too." Tan Shahen looked at her mother, her eyes widened, and her mother also stared at her. "At worst, Mom will wash it for you. It's not like Mom has never washed it before. When I was a kid, I washed it every day after pooping and peeing. I didn't expect that such a heartless thing would come out of the wash." Tan Shahen was attacked by her parents until she couldn't laugh or cry. When Zhang Chen and Jin Lili arrived, they saw Lu Ligan standing there stupidly, looking up at the window on the third floor. Jin Lili asked, "Not down yet?" Lu Ligan shook his head. "Then scream," Jin Lili said anxiously. Lu Ligan held it in for a long time and did not dare to scream. He said, "They are quarreling." Jin Lili was anxious, but the time is coming. Lu Ligan remembered their old secret code and barked woof, woof, woof like a dog upstairs. The quarrel upstairs stopped. Come again, Jin Lili said. Lu Ligan continued, woof woof woof. The window on the third floor opened with a bang, and then a glass of water was poured down. The three people downstairs would have been splashed if they hadn't dodged quickly. The sound of quarreling upstairs was intermittent, and the three people downstairs stared at the window, helpless. Jin Lily looked at the watch on her hand from time to time, and once she looked at it, she was so anxious that she put one foot on the ground and circled in place. The sky was completely bright at this time, and more people were going out to buy fried dough sticks and soy milk. They were all in the same system. Several people who knew Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan heard the quarrel between the old Tan family and knew that why are they standing here and still saying so early. Some people simply shouted, "Lu Keizi, my mother-in-law's family, why don't you go up?" "Paperhead, paperhead," Jin Lily suddenly shouted. They saw a paper ball thrown out from Tan Shahan's room on the third floor and fell to the ground. Jin Lily quickly ran over to pick it up and handed it to Lu Ligan. Lu Ligan unfolded the paper ball and three heads were squeezed together. They saw a few scrawls written on the note. "You go ahead and call me when you get to Hainan." "What should I do?" "Zhen Zhen can't get down." Jin Lily stamped her feet anxiously. Lu Ligan looked at his watch, then at Tan Shahan's window, and finally, he said harshly, "Let's go." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 13. The three of them, Zhang Chen, had been standing on the train for more than 30 hours. When they arrived at Guangzhou railway station, they were almost exhausted and too lazy to talk. When they left the station, their feet felt like lead. It was already dark outside. Zhang Chen looked at his watch. It was around 8 o'clock and it was very hot in Guangzhou. They took off their coats and put them on their hands. As soon as they left the station, a large group of women gathered around them holding signs in their hands. When I came over, some said Shenzhen, some said Dongguan, some said Jiangmen, some said Haiyan, and many more said accommodation. Jin Lily shouted, "We want to take a car." The people holding up accommodation moved away, while those holding up place names continued to walk around them. Lu Ligan saw one holding up Zhanjiang and shouted, "We are going to Zhanjiang." The others all retreated, and there were still 4 or 5 people who arrived in Zhanjiang. One of them took Jin Lily's hand and walked forward. Jin Lily struggled and screamed. The man said, "Don't scream, don't scream, my car is the latest and the fare is the cheapest." Holding Jin Lily's hand and refusing to let go, Jin Lily had no choice but to follow her. Seeing this, Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan had no choice but to tell the others who were still surrounding them that we were with her. "We took that car." The other people then left. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan walked a few steps and caught up with them. Zhang Chen asked the woman, "When we go to Hainan, can we just go to Zhanjiang?" "That's right, we'll be there when we get to Zhanjiang," the woman said. The three of them followed her with confidence. Jin Lily said, "Let me go." The woman looked back to make sure no one was following them, and then let go of Jin Lily's hand. The three of them followed the woman for more than 10 minutes. Zhang Chen asked, "Sister, where are you taking us? Why haven't we arrived yet?" "We're here, just a little ahead," the woman shouted. They walked forward for another 10 minutes, but still had no intention of arriving. Jin Lily stopped and refused to leave. She shouted at the woman, "Let's make it clear, how much further is there?" Zhang Chen was frightened and thought, "We are from out of town, she is from the local area, so don't be troublesome." He quickly pulled the hem of Jin Lily's clothes. The man was not angry or upset, but raised 2 fingers and said to Jin Lily, 200 meters, there are still 200 meters. Lu Ligan also advised, "Let's go, since there are only 200 meters away." They walked forward for a while, and every time they wanted to speak, the man raised 2 fingers. They walked 2 more streets. Jin Lily refused to leave even though she said nothing, and the woman was not in a hurry. Standing 7 or 8 steps away from them, Jin Lily waved to her, "Come here." The woman shook her head. You decide among yourselves whether you want to go or not. If you want to go, there are still 5 minutes left. If you don't want to go, you can go back. It will take 40 minutes from here to the train station. Jin Lily became angry when she heard this. Damn it, I will die even if I die. Zhang Chen quickly grabbed her. Lu Ligan also yelled at the woman, why are you so good at lying? I've been deceived all the way by you. The woman giggled and said, I'm not going to lie to you, we really only have 5 minutes. You've been talking for 5 humming minutes, Jin Lily shouted. The man still said, there are really only 5 minutes left. You can decide among yourselves whether you want to go or not. If not, I will go on my own. Wait a minute, Zhang Chen said quickly. The three of them stood there. Jin Lily insisted on going back. Zhang Chen said, even if we go back, we don't know the way. You have a mouth on your body, so you don't know how to ask, Jin Lily shouted. No, she said there were 5 minutes left. I don't know if it's true, but she said it would take 40 minutes to walk back. This must be true. Guangzhou is only so old. I don't believe it. We have been walking for such a long time. How long will it take? If we keep walking, we will almost reach Zhanjiang, Zhang Chen said, and Jin Lily stopped talking. I'll ask her again. Lu Ligan said, and walked towards the man. When the man saw Lu Ligan coming, he took 2 steps back and said, what are you going to do? Don't mess around. If I shout, there will be people all over here, they are our people. Seeing the other party like this, Lu Ligan laughed, I won't mess around, I'm just asking you, tell me one last time, so that no matter how much time you say you have, whether it's an hour or 10 minutes, we all go with you, just tell me the truth. The other party breathed a sigh of relief and said to Lu Ligan, it really only takes 5 minutes. Truth. To be honest, if I lied to you, I wouldn't charge you for the ticket. Lu Ligan came back and told them that she only had 5 minutes to tell the truth. Jin Lily curled her lips, do you still believe her? Believe it or not, we will walk for another 5 minutes, Zhang Chen said. Okay, help me carry my backpack, Jin Lily and Zhang Chen said, I can't walk anymore. Zhang Chen already had 3 bags on his body, 1 slung across his body, 1 on his back, and 1 in his hand. Give it to me, Lu Lipol took the bag. The 4 people continued to walk forward. Jin Lily kept looking at his watch as he walked, and kept muttering, liar, liar, big liar. No matter it was Zhang Chen, Lu Ligan, or the woman, they all pretended not to have heard anything. They passed the intersection in front and walked another 60 or 70 meters. The woman stopped in front of an open iron door, turned around, and shouted to Jin Lily in a loud voice. See, I didn't lie to you. Have you arrived already? There was indeed a large bus parked in the open space inside the iron gate. On the glass in front of the bus, there was a sign saying Guangzhou, Zhanjiang. Zhang Chen and the 3 of them let out a long sigh. The woman walked to a lounge chair in the door, kicked the chair twice, and shouted, 3. The man who was sleeping on the chair opened his eyes a little and glanced at Zhang Chen and the others. 80. He spit out 2 words from his mouth. Alone, Zhang Chen asked. The man didn't answer, but the woman next to him said, of course I'm going to Zhanjiang alone, it's a long way away. Jin Lily complained, really, you should ask about the fare at the train station. There are so many buses to Zhanjiang. The woman rolled her eyes at Jin Lily, so many people were brought here in the end. Can it be cheaper? Lu Ligan asked. The man did not speak, but raised a hand and waved towards the outside of the door, meaning to leave without sitting down. Zhang Chen and the other 3 looked at each other, and finally had no choice but to take out 240 yuan and handed them over. After giving it to him, the man took the money, counted it, unzipped the fanny pack on his waist, stuffed it in, zipped it up, and waved at them again, this time towards the inside. Okay, Get in the car and find a seat, the woman called. Don't have a ticket, Jin Lily asked. Ticket? Oh, no matter what ticket you want, he already knows you. You just get on the bus. You are in the bus. Are you afraid that the bus will run away? The woman shouted impatiently. The three people had no choice but to pick up their luggage and walk inside. When they got to the car, they saw that the car was in tatters. Lu Ligan cursed, liar, she said her car is the latest. Looking back, the woman was no longer there, and the sleeping person continued to sleep. Jin Lily shouted, forget it, I'm exhausted, let's get in the car. The three people got on the bus. The bus was empty. There was no one else. They went to the last row, put all their luggage on the seats near the back, and the three of them sat down. They were so sleepy that they fell asleep soon. Lu Lizan woke up once. He saw a few more people in the car. He quickly looked at the luggage around him. They were all still there. He thought about it, opened his arms, and simply lay down on the luggage. He fell asleep again. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 14. When Zhang Chen and the others woke up, it was already dark outside. The three of them were startled. They didn't expect that they had slept in the car all night. What they didn't expect was that after such a long time, the car hadn't started yet. Fortunately, they slept comfortably enough and felt somewhat refreshed. Many people in the car were urging the driver to start driving. The driver, who was sleeping on the recliner last night, retorted. Why are you so anxious? Look at the last three people. They arrived at 9 o'clock last night. They don't have any objections until now. They sleep soundly. When he turned around, he saw that Zhang Chen and the others had woken up, looking very embarrassed, and smiled at them. Lu Ligan shouted, we have no objection. No, even the hotel fee is saved, but there are more mosquitoes. The driver smiled and raised his hand towards Lu Ligan. I'm going to die. As soon as Lu Ligan said that, Jin Lily felt itchy all over her body. Looking at her feet and arms, there were red envelopes bitten by mosquitoes. She quickly took out the wind oil essence and asked Zhang Chen to apply it on her. Someone again urged the driver to leave quickly. The driver looked at the car and saw that only half of the people were sitting in the car. There were still 8 or 9 empty seats, and he said, wait a moment, another person will come and leave immediately. After a while, 2 people came. They paid and sat down. Everyone thought that it was time for the driver to drive. Unexpectedly, the driver opened the door and got out of the car. The person in the car shouted, what are you doing? The driver said as he ran, go to the toilet. This trip lasted 20 minutes. When I got back to the bus, the first thing I asked was, is there anyone who just got on the bus and didn't buy a ticket? Many people roared together, no. Someone scolded, you only went to the toilet for half an hour. The driver replied, there is nothing we can do, I have diarrhea. In the middle of the carriage, a man suddenly stood up. He cursed loudly in what must be the local dialect of Zhanjiang. Zhang Chen and the others couldn't understand it, but they could get a rough idea. What the man was scolding was, you have diarrhea every humming time, didn't you die? Can't open it? If you don't give me your money back, I'll get off. Others shouted, yes, refund the money. Some people also kindly advised me, let's go, it's almost done, we can still attract customers on the way. The driver said with a sad face, there are no customers on the road. This road is as if it has been scratched by a grate. There is not a hair on it. Zhang Chen has been angry with the driver since last night. He originally wanted to join the siege. When the driver said this, his heart softened again. Thinking about it, it was not easy for him. Zhang Chen sat without saying anything and stopped him. Jin Lily participated in the scolding war. Although the driver was reluctant, he still started the car. Last night, the three people were just driving and didn't care about anything else. Now, as the car drove out of the yard, they quickly looked out the car window, wanting to see the legendary city of Guangzhou. After a while, the three people were disappointed. What I saw outside the window was that it was shabby, and the whole street was filled with short houses, similar to Hangzhou. Jin Lily tapped her fingers on the shoulders of the person in the front seat and asked, "Master, is this the suburbs of Guangzhou?" "Here? The urban area, it should be considered the city center." Jin Lily almost cried, feeling like she had been cheated. The car finally drove out of Guangzhou city. At that time, there was no expressway from Guangzhou to Zhanjiang. The car swayed and crawled on the bumpy national highway. After crawling for more than an hour, the sun came out. As soon as the sun came up, the bus was stuffy and hot. Although the windows were open, the curtains were drawn on the half of the windows facing the sun. The smell of feet, sweat, cigarette smoke, and an indescribable stench were mixed together. Jin Lily was about to vomit, and she relied on opening the cap of the fenjujing bottle in her hand from time to time and sniffing the breath of fenjujing. Just after passing Hessian, the driver stopped the car on the side of the road. The people in the car asked him what he was doing. He said the water tank was empty, add water. He found a piece of car inner tube and got out of the car, scooped water from the pond on the roadside, and filled the car with water. After filling the water, he continued to drive. After driving for 30 or 40 kilometers, he stopped again and said that he needed to fill the car with water again. There were curses in the car, and the driver looked at them and said innocently, "The water tank is leaking, and there's nothing I can do about it." They drove and stopped like this, more than 400 kilometers from Guangzhou to Zhanjiang. They set off from Guangzhou at 5 o'clock in the morning. When they arrived in Zhanjiang, it was already 8 o'clock in the evening. After everyone else got off the car, the driver saw Zhang Chen and the three of them. One was still in the car and asked, "Where are you guys going?" Doc Zhang Chen said. "Port," the driver asked. "Pier, take a boat to the pier opposite." "Which one is on the opposite side?" The driver was confused. "Hainan Island," Jin Lily said. "You want to go to Hainan?" The driver opened his eyes wide. "Why are you taking this car to go to Hainan? This place is still far away from Hainan. Didn't that woman of yours say that she would go to Hainan as soon as she reached Zhanjiang?" Zhang Chen said. "I asked her specifically." The driver snorted. "You believe what they say? Then she's not with you," Jin Lily shouted. "I don't even know her. She is a solicitor, and she earns 10 yuan per customer," the driver said. Zhang Chen and the three of them were all stunned. The driver urged, "Hurry up and get off, I have to repair the car." "Then where are we going after we go down?" Jin Lily shouted. "How do I know?" the driver said. "Either you are in the car and follow me back to Guangzhou tomorrow morning, but there are still 81 people." Zhang Chen and the three of them got out of the car. It was completely dark. They were standing in a strange city and on a strange street, not knowing where they were going next. For a moment, the three of them felt a trace of regret and sadness. If they had not left Yongcheng, they would still be under the tallow tree, eating fried snails and peanuts, and drinking the spicy qianbei shao. How comfortable it was. Now that I think about it, this kind of life seems so far away from them, so far away that it becomes unreal. I wonder what Zhen Zhen is doing now, Jin Lily sighed. They felt hungry, so they walked into a roadside noodle shop and decided to fill their stomachs first. By the way, they asked the shop owner how to get to Hainan. Zhang Chen ordered 3 bowls of noodles. While waiting for the noodles, Zhang Chen asked the boss, "How should I go to Hainan from here?" The boss told him that you should first go to Suwen, then take a bus to Haiyan, and then go to the pier to take a boat and cross the sea to Hainan. "Is there still a bus to Suwen?" Zhang Chen asked. "No more," the boss replied. "Are you going to Hainan?" asked a customer eating noodles, and Zhang Chen said yes. "Then when you go to the roadside and see a car with the Haiyan brand, just wave. That car goes directly to the Haiyan pier," the man told them. "Do you still have a car now?" Lu Ligan asked. "Yes, there are many. There are many buses going to Hainan now, 24 hours a day, anytime. Just wait by the highway," the man said. The three of them were overjoyed and quickly thanked each other. They looked at each other and felt that it was not that bad. They hurriedly ate their fans. Lu Ligan suddenly raised his head and asked, "Do you remember that at Guangzhou railway station, there was someone holding a Haiyan sign?" Jin Lili and Zhang Chen thought about it, and it seemed that this was the case. Jin Lili regretted, "Oh, if we had got on that car, we might have arrived in Hainan by now." Jin Lili rolled her eyes at Zhang Chen, "It's all you, save that $1.10. Zhang Chen quickly defended, "Teacher Li, blame Teacher Li. He told us categorically that it would be fine as soon as we get to Zhanjiang." Jin Lili sniffed her nose, "I think we should find a place to take a shower first. Don't you think you already stink?" When Jin Lili said this, Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan also felt that they smelled very bad. It was a hot day, after a 30-hour train ride, and then another 20+ hours in that bus. It would be strange if it didn't stink. Anyway, his stomach was full and buses were available 24 hours a day. Zhang Chen also felt that it was time to relax. He said, "Okay, let's go find a hotel and take a shower." The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 15. Zhang Chen and the others came out of the pink shop and saw a hotel dozens of meters in front. The three of them went over. The hotel only had a small facade with a semicircular counter inside, and a little girl sitting at the counter. The little girl told them that a room cost 60 yuan, and Zhang Chen agreed to take one. Zhang Chen was still filling out the form. The little girl looked at the three of them and asked, "How many of you are there in total?" "3, didn't you see it?" Zhang Chen said. The little girl took the list back and told Zhang Chen, "That won't work. A room can only accommodate 2 people at most, not 3 people, unless you open 2 rooms." Lu Ligan came up to her and said, "We don't want to stay, we just want to take a shower. If 3 people take a shower, 1 room is enough, right?" The girl was very insistent and kept shaking her head, saying, "No, you can either open 2 rooms." "Why are you so rigid?" Lu Ligan scolded. "What's the matter? What's the matter?" At this time, a middle-aged woman, who looked like the proprietress, came out of the small door behind the counter. She came out and asked. The little girl told her the matter, and she nodded and said that she wanted to open 2 stores. "Beauty, listen to me." At that time, it was rare for people to call women beautiful, especially in Mandarin. Southerners also called handsome men and pretty girls. The meaning of pretty girls is similar to beautiful women, but few people called beautiful women in Mandarin, especially to a middle-aged woman. The 2 people at the counter felt it was very novel when they heard Lu Ligan call it like this. They were stunned for a moment, and then they laughed. "Beauty, come on, you are not only beautiful, but you also need to be able to settle accounts," Lu Ligan shouted. The middle-aged woman smiled and said, "What kind of settlement? In our family, I am the best at settling accounts." "Okay, Beauty, let me figure it out with you. The 3 of us just want 1 room to take a bath. For 3 people to take a bath, an hour at most is enough, right? We'll leave after we finish washing. Can you still use this room, sell it to others, right? What you lose in this hour is the water bill at most, which is only a few cents, right? In this way, you are equivalent to selling 2 houses for 1 house. It's a good deal for you, right?" Every time Lu Ligan asked whether something was right, the middle-aged woman nodded and said yes. Finally, Lu Ligan said, "You are right, So why don't you give us the room? The middle-aged woman was stunned for a moment. She said okay, give them a room. The girl was about to hand the form to Zhang Chen and ask him to continue filling it in. The woman reached out and took the form back and told them, there is no need to fill in the form, you can keep it. An ID card is here. If you don't leave after taking a shower, then you can redeem this ID card for another 60 yuan. Awesome, beauty, you are indeed the glory of the whole family, Lu Ligan said while giving them his ID card. It was already past 4 o'clock in the morning when they arrived at Haiyan Pier. There were people on the road outside the car. Zhang Chen and the others were surprised. Jin Lili asked, are these all going to Hainan? Probably so, Zhang Chen said, and Jin Lili became excited and felt that she was really in the right place. The further we drove, the more people there were and the car couldn't drive past. The driver of the bus had no choice but to stop the car and let the people on board get off. How far is it from here to the pier? Someone asked. 10 minutes, the driver replied. After hearing what the driver said, some people stopped and said, how can we leave with big and small bags? The driver smiled bitterly and said, if you can't get off, I have to drive to the pier. I have to pick up passengers there. If you don't want to get off, just stay in the car. But I tell you, from here, I have to drive at least one more how many hours? Everyone in the car got off, and Zhang Chen and the three of them also got off the car. It was dawning early in the south. Before 5 o'clock, it was already a little bright. Zhang Chen and the others squeezed toward the pier and looked at both sides of the road. They saw many people sitting on the side of the road, and some people simply opened their mats, and 2 or 3 people crowded on one mat to sleep. Aren't they in a hurry to leave? Can't they sleep well in Hainan? Lu Ligan said strangely. You're not afraid of mosquitoes when you sleep here, Jin Lili also said. Maybe there are so many people that even the mosquitoes don't know who to bite, Zhang Chen said with a smile. After finally arriving at the pier, there were more people on the pier. The dense crowds of people crowded all the open spaces. There were always tens of thousands of people. Zhang Chen looked around and all he saw was anxiety and longing eyes. Lu Ligan asked the people next to him, are you all going to Hainan? That's right. If you don't go to Hainan, who would be here? Aren't you going to line up? Jin Lili asked. The queue is there, the lights are on. Zhang Chen and the others looked in the direction he pointed, and saw a particularly brightly lit area in the half-dark morning light. Several people were sitting higher than the darkness of heads. They were holding the pole. Maintaining order is the same as outside the train station ticket window. The 3 of them squeezed for more than 10 minutes before they reached the front. Only then did they realize that in front of them were passages welded with iron pipes. Outside each passage, there was an orderly person sitting high up, holding a hand. A very long pole. The 3 of them crowded into a passage, with Zhang Chen walking in front. The pole in the man's hand fell down and touched Zhang Chen's nose. Zhang Chen turned to look at him and shouted. Take the border pass in your hand. What? Zhang Chen asked loudly, but the man was too lazy to pay attention to him. In front of and behind him, a kind person held up a piece of paper in his hand and waved it towards them. This is the border defense certificate. Zhang Chen shook his head and said we didn't. He was about to continue walking forward. When the pole came down again, it hit Zhang Chen on the head. Zhang Chen was furious and cursed, why did you hit me? Get out, the man shouted, and hit the second shot. Why do you hit people? Jin Lili cursed. What's going on? What's going on? 2 policemen came over immediately. Jin Lili pointed at the man and said to them, he beat people. The man was sitting there, looking as if nothing had happened. When the police saw that Zhang Chen and Jin Lili had empty hands, they asked, where are your border defense certificates? What kind of border defense permit? No, Jin Lili said. Get out, This time it was the policeman who said, "If you don't have a border defense permit, you'll be crowded and make trouble. You can't get on the boat without a border defense permit." "Police uncle, we are coming from a very far away place, can you let us pass?" Jin Lily begged. "We don't know that we need a border defense permit to go to Hainan." The policeman glared at her and waved his hand. "Did you see that there are tens of thousands of people here without border security permits and they all come from far away places? Go out and don't disturb the order." The three of them had no choice but to squeeze out. Lu Ligan asked as he walked, "Where can I get a border defense permit?" There was so much noise all around that the police didn't hear his question. Someone nearby said, "Police station." The three people squeezed outside, and then they realized that the crowds on the pier were all because they didn't have border security passes and couldn't get on the boat. "What should we do? We, like them, can't get on the boat. What should we do?" Jin Lily stamped her feet anxiously. "Let's go to the town first. Didn't we tell the police station to handle it? When the police station opens, we will go and handle it. We are not fugitives. What are we afraid of?" Zhang Chen said. Haiyan town is still some way away from the pier. They were sitting on the bus in front of them and passed through the town. The three of them walked for more than 20 minutes before arriving at Haiyan town. There were also many people in the town. They were wandering around in groups on the street, and some fell asleep while sitting in front of other shops. People in the shops got up. The door was opened and they were being driven away. "We have to go to the police station early to queue up. I guess the queue waiting to apply for the border defense certificate will be very long," Lu Ligan said. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 16. They asked two people wandering the street how to get to the police station. They all shook their heads and said they didn't know, saying that they were also from out of town. I found an open shop, and three people stood at the door. Before they could say anything, they closed the door with a look of disgust on their faces. The three of them found a cleaner who was sweeping the street. The cleaner was very patient and stopped holding the big broom in his hand to listen to them. But Zhang Chen and the other three took turns and talked for a long time, but no one knew what they were talking about. What? It turns out he doesn't understand Mandarin at all. Zhang Chen was so anxious that he took out a pen and paper from his bag and wrote the words police station on the paper. The other party understood, and even after a long time of gesticulating with them, Zhang Chen and the others didn't understand. The other party was anxious, so he put the broom between his legs, took the pen from Zhang Chen's hand, drew a straight line, and then drew a horizontal line. He felt that the horizontal line was too long, so he painted out half of it, and another straight line appeared. Another horizontal line, and then looked at them as if he had finished some heavy work, and let out a long breath. The three of them finally understood the general direction and quickly thanked them. They followed the vertical and horizontal route map, asked two more people, and finally found the police station. The iron door of the police station was closed tightly. To their surprise, there was not even a dog at the door, let alone a dog. When people arrived, they saw a notice posted at the gate, and then they understood the reason. The notice read: First, our office only processes border defense permits for Haiyan locals. Second, according to regulations, all foreigners must go to the place of residence to apply for border defense permits. There were two horizontal lines drawn under Haiyan native and registration address, which were emphasized. From the 6 exclamation marks, it was obvious that they were already very troubled by the border security certificate. Jin Lily almost cried, "What should we do? We ran in vain and we can't get through." Thinking of the long journey and the hard work along the way, they just ran back and ran out again. They didn't even know if they had enough money. The three of them sat down on the flower bed in front of the police station, and suddenly felt a sense of despair. Sad. After a long time, Zhang Chen was the first to wake up and said to them, "Don't worry, it's still early. Let's go to the post office later when the post office opens." "What for?" Jin Lily asked. "Let's call Tan Shahen and ask her to help us go to the police station and send it over after it's done," Zhang Chen said. "Yes, that's okay," Lu Ligan's eyes lit up. "But even if it's done and sent from Yongcheng, it will still take many days, right?" Jin Lily said. "That's better than running back by ourselves," Zhang Chen said. "Do you still want to take the bus and train?" No, Jin Lily shook her head quickly as if she was shocked. Finally, after 8 o'clock, the three people walked to the Post and Telecommunications office. The scene at the Post and Telecommunications office was exactly the opposite of that at the police station. The place was crowded with people, all coming to make phone calls. The Post and Telecommunications office only had 3 phone booths, but there were already 2 queues. There are more than 100 numbers. By the time they arrive, the post office will probably be off work. Lu Ligan went to the counter to get a number. He said that if he didn't take it, it would be free. The three of them took the number and walked along the street. They saw a small shop that also had long-distance phone service, but no one called. The three of them were happy. "I was so worried that I walked outside the glass counter and asked, and I found out the reason. Long-distance calls from the Post and Telecommunications office cost 80 cents per minute, while here they cost 5 cents. A 1-minute phone call cost me 2 extra bowls of soup and noodles." The three of them stood there, hesitating for a long time. Zhang Chen said it would be better to fight. "If Tan Shahen had sent it a day earlier, we would have lost 1 day here. 1 day would cost at least $100, which was even more wasteful." Jin Lily rolled her eyes at him. "It's all about the money. It seems that you don't need to spend money when you arrive in Hainan. Do you think you can go home?" Lu Ligan opened the phone number and said with a sad face, "But we were number 200, so when it was our turn, the call was answered, and Tan Shahen ran to the police station again. The police station was probably off duty." Jin Lily became impatient. Let's fight. In the worst case, we'll beg for food and go home." After Jin Lily finished speaking, she walked aside angrily. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan said, "Let's fight." Lu Ligan dialed Tan Shahen's home phone. After the phone rang 5 times, someone picked up. "Hello, who is this?" When Lu Lizan heard the voice of Tan Shahen's mother, he quickly said, "Auntie, I am Zanzi, can you call me?" The other party hung up the phone with a click, leaving Lu Ligan dumbfounded. The boss shouted, it's cleared, it's been cleared, we need to calculate the money." "How much?" Zhang Chen asked. $5. Zhang Chen was startled. "Isn't it only 5 yuan a minute? I only said it for a few seconds." "It's 5 yuan within 1 minute, whether it's 59 seconds or 1 second, that's how the phone counts," the boss said. While they were on the phone, there was a man and a woman standing nearby. It seemed that they were also waiting for a call. The man asked Zhang Chen, "Are you still calling?" Data Lu Ligan said, "Wait a moment." Lu Ligan asked Jin Lily to come over, and Jin Lily came over reluctantly. Lu Ligan said, "Lily, you fight me." When Tan Shahen's mother heard that it was me, she hung up. Jin Lily dialed Tan Shahen's home phone number, and it was Tan Shahen's mother who answered the phone. Jin Lily said, "Hello, Auntie, I'm Lily, I'm looking for Zhen." On the other end of the phone, Tan Shahen's mother said, "Lily, let me tell you, if you still act as a sounding board for that kid, Auntie won't recognize you." No, Aunt, I'm looking for Zhen." On the other end of the phone, Tan Shahen's mother hung up the phone again. The boss gloated and stretched out a finger. "Again." They didn't say anything, and the $10 were gone. Zhang Chen and the three of them stepped aside, feeling that they were helpless, and the phone number in the troop was blocked. The three of them discussed who else they could call. Jin Lily said, My colleagues in the factory must not be beaten. They don't even know that I have come to Hainan. Zhang Chen said that the advertising company can fight, but I am not familiar enough with them to ask them to go to the police station and help us apply for border defense certificates. Lu Ligan clapped his hands and said he was right. I beat Lao Mang can do it. Isn't it just a trip to the police station? Isn't it just a matter of applying for a few border defense passes? What a big deal. The three of them stood by, ready to wait for the young man to finish the call, and Lu Ligan called Lao Mang from the County Federation of Literary and Art Circles. The girl who had been standing by the side looked at them and couldn't help it, so she asked, You don't have a border defense permit either? Jin Lily is right. I just heard what you said, and it doesn't seem possible. Others can't apply for the border defense permit on your behalf, the girl said. Really? Lu Ligan asked. At this time, the boy also finished the phone call. The girl told the boy about the matter. The boy said to them with certainty, No, you have to go to the local police station with your ID card to apply for it. We also went back to apply for it after we arrived here and couldn't cross the sea. We are from Guangdong and can go back and forth quickly. My classmate is from Guizhou. I just gave him call, it's not done yet, we're waiting for them here. Classmates, which school do you go to? Lu Ligan asked. What about you from Peking University? From Zhejiang University, Lu Ligan said. Oh, comrade. The boy held Lu Ligan's hand and said meaningfully. Lu Ligan asked, Has your border permit been processed? Can you show us what kind of treasure it is that is so troublesome? Wait a minute, the boy took out 2 pieces of paper from his backpack and handed them to Lu Ligan. This is it. This is temporary for us. It is said that it will last for another year. It's still troublesome. We won't need it. As long as just cross the sea, who would go to the pier again, right? Yes, Lu Ligan said as he took the 2 pieces of paper. Zhang Chen and Jin Lily also came over to take a look. Zhang Chen stared at the 2 pieces of paper for a while. He lay down next to Lu Ligan's ear and whispered for a while. Lu Ligan nodded. Lu Ligan returned the 2 pieces of paper to the boy. He looked around and saw a snack bar across the street. Lu Ligan said to the boy, Classmate, why should we meet before? Let's find a place to sit. Okay, the boy agreed readily, we have to wait here for 2 days anyway, so there's nothing wrong with us. Lu Ligan led them towards the opposite side. He and Zhang Chen pointed to the snack bar opposite. Zhang Chen nodded. He and Jin Lily said, You go there with Ganzi and the others, and I'll come back as soon as I go. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 17. Breakfast was too late and lunch was too early. At this time, there was no one in the snack bar. Lu Lipol ordered 4 bowls of wontons and the 4 of them sat down. The boy asked, How is your Zhejiang University? We are pretty good anyway, more than half my classmates, I have no choice but to go to Shenzhen or Hainan. Pretty much, we're no better than you, damn it. Lu Ligan cursed. Yes, it. The boy also scolded him. Jin Lily was on the side, wondering what they were talking about and whose mother they were going to hum. Look at that girl, she also had an excited face. She was sitting on the side and nodded constantly. It seemed that she also agreed to hum whose mother. Jin Lily can only eat wontons in silence. The wontons here are large stuffed wontons, similar to dumplings. Jin Lily thinks they are not as delicious as the small lard wontons in Yongcheng. Thinking of Yongcheng, Jin Lily almost shed tears. Zhang Chen came back, holding a roll of lead drawing paper, a box of gouache paint, a bottle of carbon ink, a dip pen, a pencil eraser, etc. Lu Ligan said to the boy, Comrade, Can you please over there, can you show us the evidence? The boy looked at Lu Ligan and then at the things in Zhang Chen's hands. He seemed to understand. He said, no way. Do you want to draw a border defense card yourself? Yes, that's right. We can't go back. To tell you the truth, even if we go back, we won't have the money to come back again, Lu Ligan said honestly. I understand, the boy said. He took out the border defense card and handed it to Zhang Chen. Come on, draw the same way, we will also see something. Lu Ligan asked the boss for scissors and a plate. He added some water to the plate and brought it over and placed it on the table. Zhang Chen first cut out a piece of paper the same size as the border defense certificate from a whole piece of lead drawing paper. He used a pencil and ruler to draw the large and small boxes on it, and then dipped the pen in carbon ink. The square frame is completed and set aside to dry. Here I start drawing the second picture. By the time I draw the second picture, I don't even need a pencil. The third frame was completed and the first one was dry. Zhang Chen lightly drew a few small circles with a pencil, laid out the layout, and then dipped a pen into carbon ink to write the border management zone pass. Several big characters were drawn in the same way. Awesome, the boy on the side praised. Zhang Chen smiled at him, and then traced out the small 5-point song font and 5-point bold font printed on the border defense certificate one by one. The boys and girls were stunned. The girl kept saying it looked like, just like what was printed. The boy looked at Lu Ligan and asked. You are not from Zhejiang University, but from Zhejiang, America, right? I am from Zhejiang University, and he is from Zhejiang, America. Even the boss was attracted, coming over to take a look from time to time, and then walking back. After Zhang Chen finished drawing, the boy picked it up to look at it and praised, it's amazing, it's really the same as the one printed, except that the paper is a little different. Zhang Chen was stunned for a moment. He finished speaking in his mind. What he was most worried about was the paper. But in the end, others noticed it because of the paper. He stopped what he was doing and sat there, looking at Lu helplessly. Pole. The boy seemed to understand what Zhang Chen was thinking, and he immediately comforted him and said, it's okay. I'm telling you, the defense evidence here is printed by each place themselves, and the paper is different. Short-term operations like ours are more chaotic. Really? Zhang Chen asked. Really, what he said is right, the girl said, a few of our classmates have already passed by. Some of them are from Hubei, some from Jiangxi, and some from Shaanxi. It's true. I've seen their border defense certificates. They're all different. Hearing what they said, Zhang Chen let out a long sigh. In this way, when you cross the sea at night, it will look very similar. At night, it will be even less noticeable. The boy gave them an idea. Okay, thank you comrade, this is a good idea. Damn it, Lu Lepole patted the boy on the shoulder. The boy followed suit and cursed Hamid again. Jin Lily asked the girl, by the way, didn't you have classmates who crossed the sea? Why didn't you go there together? When our classmate from Guizhou arrives, he will go there together. He has relatives in Hainan. Otherwise, if we go there, we won't even have a place to live, and we don't have much money, the girl said. Jin Lily nodded. After the printing of the 3 border defense certificates was traced and dried, Zhang Chen took out his pen and filled in the names and ID numbers of the 3 people with scribbles. When he wrote the names of the units, Zhang Chen stopped. He had just heard Lu Ligan boasted that one was from Zhejiang University and the other was from Zhejiang, America, so of course it would be difficult for him to write about the Yongchengwu opera troupe. Lu Ligan had a clear understanding and knew why Zhang Chen stopped. He said, just write it randomly, since there is no job anyway. By the way, write the Yongcheng County Federation of Literary and Art Circles for Lao Meng's unit. The boy said, that's right, we also made random reports at the police station. They are all parents' workplaces, and we don't dare to say the name of our school. The boy and Lu Lizan looked at each other, cursed Yu again, and couldn't help shaking each other's hands again. Zhang Chen got up and went to the kitchen, found a bottle cap of a suitable size, and then asked the boss for a clean plate. When the boss handed the plate to him, he did not forget to give a thumbs up, and Zhang Chen smiled. He squeezed the bright red gouache paint into the plate, and squeezed in a little orange, so as to adjust the color of the red seal. He dipped the lid in the paint, and then stamped it in the remarks column in the lower right corner of the border defense certificate. The issuing authority above the words, and then inside the circle, use a tracing pen to fill in the content of the seal. By the time Zhang Chen finished these 3 border defense certificates, it was already lunchtime. There were more and more people in the store. The boss came over and lowered his voice and said to them, "Put them away quickly. There are several joint defense teams who often come. Come have lunch." Zhang Chen quickly said thank you. When he saw his boss standing beside him, reluctant to leave, he asked, "Is there anything else? Can you write a few words for me and hang them at the door?" the boss asked. Okay, Zhang Chen looked at the lead drawing paper. He only used one corner, and asked the boss, "Just use this paper. Do you think it's big enough?" That's enough, the boss said quickly. What to write? Zhang Chen asked his boss. Just write the word wonton. Zhang Chen looked at the writing pen on the table. He couldn't write the 2 big characters with this small pen. He asked the boss, "Have you arranged the pen?" What pen? The boss was confused. Zhang Chen thought for a moment and said, "Do you have a brush?" Yes, can it be painted with flour?" Can. The boss ran into the kitchen and came out with a flour brush. Lu Li went in and took out a large bowl filled with 1/3 of the water. What color do you want? Zhang Chen asked the boss. Red, just red. Zhang Chen squeezed the entire tube of bright red gouache paint into the bowl, added the remaining ones on the plate into the bowl, mixed evenly, used a brush to soak up the paint water in the bowl, and made 2 wontons with 1 swipe. The bold characters appeared vividly on the lead drawing paper. The boss looked on with a smile. The 5 of them got up, and Lu Ligan went to pay for 4 bowls of wontons. The boss refused to accept anything, and even took 2 plastic bags and filled them with 2 bags of steamed buns for him. The 5 people broke up at the door of the store. The boy stretched out his hand, shook hands with Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen, and said to them, "We all know your names. My name is Chen Qiang, and her name is Lin Yiyan. Maybe in the future, we will meet again in Hainan Island." Lu Ligan, Zhang Chen, and Jin Lili also told them that they would meet later, and Jin Lili and Lin Yiyan hugged each other. Lu Ligan gave them a bag of steamed buns, but they refused to take it. Lu Ligan insisted on giving it to them, telling them that according to the rules of criminal groups, don't they all have a share in it? Then they laughed and accepted it. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 18. The 3 people walked forward for a while, and someone from behind called out, "Master, wait a minute." The 3 people stopped, turned around, and saw a person chasing after them. He was a customer sitting opposite them at another table in the snack bar. "What's the matter?" Lu Ligan asked. "Can you help me get one for the border defense permit?" Lu Ligan shook his head. "I'll give you money, I'll give you 100 yuan. Lu Ligan still shook his head. 200, I'll give you 200, please help me get one. Lu Lizan hesitated a little, but Zhang Chen pulled him up and left. He said to the man, "I'm sorry, I really can't handle this." They walked forward quickly and went far away. When they looked back, they saw that the man had not followed, so they slowed down. "It's 200 yuan from Zhejiang University of Technology. I'll catch up with you and paint 2 billboards." "Why don't you do it?" Jin Lili asked. "Yeah, I'm very excited," Lu Ligan said. "You are pigs. You really think you are a criminal group? How can you do this kind of thing randomly?" Zhang Chen scolded, besides, I drew it for him, and he went through the customs with it. Silly, if he is once the inspection comes out, serious inspection will begin at the dock, how are we going to get through? Yes, why didn't I think of this? You are thinking far ahead. It seems that you have the potential to be the boss of a criminal group, Lu Ligan said. Stop being so pretentious, you're not bad either. You're from Zhejiang University, and your IQ is definitely not low. It's just that you were spoiled by the buns, Zhang Chen scolded. The three people searched for a long time and finally found a shade tree. There were many people here. The three people sat down on the ground. The ground was still a little hot on their buttocks, so they couldn't care less. Jin Lily asked, do you feel like we are homeless? Yes, we are homeless now. We have no fixed place to live. We can't go back or go forward. We don't know what will happen next, Zhang Chen said. Why, do you regret it? I feel a little bit regretful when I think about our cozy little room and clean bed, but it's all gone now. Regret is useless, Jin Lily said. What I miss most now is sitting on our high roof with a hot pot of fresh beer. Lu Ligan smacked his lips as he spoke. Jin Lily looked at him and cursed, don't be so hypocritical. Don't you miss Zhen Zhen? I don't want to think about it now. Look, what would happen if Tan Shahan was in a place like this, Lu Ligan said, it seems that there is no boundary. Really, we are the only working class who are suitable to be with these migrant workers. Jin Lily looked around and sighed, Tan Shahan only plays young ladies, so she is used to applause and spotlights. She has also played prostitutes and nuns, Lu Ligan said. Come on, that prostitute of hers is Su Xiao Xiao. Su Xiao Xiao is the dream lover of Chinese bullshit literati of all ages, Zhang Chen scolded. The little nun in the Monk and Nun Association is not an ordinary nun, she is a young lady. The romantic nun who lives her life. It's true, Lu Ligan thought for a moment and smiled. He jumped up from the ground and said to them, my mouth is dry. I'm going to buy some water. Lu Lizan walked toward the street under the bright sun, and came back after more than 20 minutes. He was holding two plastic bags, one with 3 bottles of water in it, and the other. Jin Lily took a look at it and shouted, did you buy steamed buns again? No, when I passed by that small shop, the boss knew me and made sure to give it to me. Zhang Chen, people are full of praise for your handwriting, Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen smiled and didn't say anything. Jin Lily said happily, not bad, just 2 words. After exchanging so many buns, I can save money on dinner. No, Pole, didn't you go buy water? There is one 20 meters away. Why are you going there? Zhang Chen asked curiously. I went to the post office. Do you know where I am in the queue now? Lu Ligan asked. How much? Jin Lily asked. Number 170 or more. Why are you going to the post office? You haven't had enough of being rejected, and you want Tan Shahan's mother to scold you? Zhang Chen asked. Lu Ligan smiled sheepishly and said, I'm going to send a postcard to Tan Shahan and tell her that we have successfully reached the opposite side of Hainan Island and are preparing to cross the sea tonight. Jin Lily exclaimed, victory? It's enough to escape here in embarrassment. They spent the whole afternoon in the shade of the tree, relying on steamed buns and water. During this period, they got up 6 or 7 times, all in order to chase the changing shade of the tree. Every time they sat down in a different place, the ground was still hot. Lu Ligan said, I guess we will be constipated. Jin Lily said, yes, I was going to visit my aunt today, but this made my aunt go back. The 3 men laughed. Lu Ligan said, I want to write down this classic sentence and write it in my memoirs in the future. Zhang Chen and Jin Lily looked down upon each other. You writing a memoir? Pull it down. Really? Lu Ligan looked at them and said seriously, when I am gray-haired, I will sit in a wheelchair and slowly recall that there are 5 secretaries next to me, all of them are beautiful women, They are all like that kid, who graduated from Peking University. They will look at me with infinite reverence, listen to me talk about my life in a slightly hoarse voice, and recall my life. Zhang Chen and Jin Lili fell down laughing, and Zhang Chen cursed, "Then you snap, and you'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life." When the surroundings darkened, Jin Lili hurriedly got up and wanted to rush to the dock. Zhang Chen said to wait a moment. "What are you doing?" "It's already dark," Jin Lili asked, confused. "The people who are being inspected now have just had dinner and are still very focused. We have to wait until they are tired before going, so that we have a greater chance of success," Zhang Chen said. "Wisdom," I said. "He has the potential to be the boss of a criminal group." "He even thought of this," Lu Ligan said. They continued to stay under the big tree, and many people left. Now there was enough space for them to lie down. Lu Ligan was about to lie down, and Zhang Chen grabbed him. "What are you doing again, boss?" Lu Ligan asked. "Although we are blind migrants, we cannot act like blind migrants. The inspectors will still judge people by their appearance," Zhang Chen said. Lu Li laughed loudly. "Zhang Chen, are you not confident in what you draw?" Zhang Chen said honestly, "I'm really a little nervous, it's my first time doing this." "Okay, I will go to the front later, you will go to the middle, and Lily will go last. If I am caught, you can find a way to escape, and I will find a way to hold them back," Lu Ligan said. At 10 o'clock in the evening, the three people walked towards the pier. By the time they arrived at the pier and squeezed through the crowd to the queue to pass the inspection, it was already almost 11 o'clock. The three of them were holding Zhang Chen's paintings of border guards in their hands. He kept shaking his ID card towards the person sitting on a high stool with a pole in his hand. They didn't even look at it and just let them line up. The three people's hearts were beating wildly. They moved forward slowly along with the queue. The end of the queue was a table. The border guard sitting behind the table checked the identity of each person in turn. Permit and border defense permit to see if they correspond. Lu Ligan was beating a drum in his heart. He kept looking back and said to Zhang Chen and Jin Lili, "Don't forget what I said to you." He felt that his throat was so nervous that it was itchy, his mouth was dry, and he couldn't even speak. Zhang Chen looked around, smiled bitterly, and thought to himself, "This is the place, you just want to escape. Where can you escape? Are you going to fly out by stepping on the heads of the people around you? If you find out, you have to accept the arrest and explain to the police obediently as they agreed in advance. Just say that you bought it from someone else. You must not say that you made it yourself. The person who sold it to them has completed the transaction." Then disappeared. Afraid of being overheard by the people on the side, the three people lined up in the queue and followed the queue forward while communicating in the local dialect of Yongcheng. "The worst outcome is to be detained and then deported. We just used it to pass the inspection, but we didn't use it to do anything bad," Lu Ligan said. "Will you be expelled from the unit if you are repatriated?" Jin Lili asked. "I don't care. Anyway, that lousy unit has already been expelled from the earth before it fired me. It doesn't matter to me. At worst, I can go back and continue writing about the king. The kings don't care whether I am detained or not. It's just that my love is going to end," Lu Ligan said. "Jensen's parents will probably kill me next. Got it? I've also thought about it. At worst, I can go back and draw ads for another 2 months before we run out again," Zhang Chen said. "That's right, this time we will get the border defense permit before we come out," Jin Lili said. "Have you ever thought that if we are deported, we won't even be able to get a border defense permit?" Lu Ligan said. As soon as the words came out, Lu Ligan himself was shocked. Yes, why hadn't they thought about this problem? The three of them stood there, stunned by this question. Zhang Chen said, "How about we quit? Go back and get the border defense permit and then come back. At worst, we need to borrow some money from someone." Lu Ligan and Jin Lili quickly agreed. Hurry up, Hurry up, the people behind were pushing Jin Lily. Come here. Follow me, someone shouted. Only then did the three people realize that at the moment when they were standing hesitating, the people in line in front of Lu Ligan had already finished the inspection. There was a gap of 1 or 2 meters between Lu Ligan and the inspector. The one who patiently asked them to follow was the border guard who was checking. There was no way to escape. Lu Ligan had no choice but to bite the bullet and walk a few steps and handed over his ID card and border defense permit. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 19. The inspecting soldier glanced at the ID card and the photo on the border defense pass below, then looked up at Lu Ligan, then returned the things to him and let him pass. Lu Ligan breathed a sigh of relief, quickly took a few steps forward, then turned around and looked at Zhang Chen and Jin Lily. Zhang Chen and Jin Lily breathed a sigh of relief when they saw how relaxed the inspection was. Zhang Chen walked to the table and handed over his ID card and border defense certificate. The moment he handed them over, Zhang Chen's heart skipped a beat. One time. He was different from Lu Ligan. He put his ID card under the border defense card. What was worse was that because he was so nervous just now, the sweat in his hands had soaked the words on the border defense card, and the carbon ink seeped out. Zhang Chen wanted to pull up the ID card underneath to cover the blurred part of the border defense certificate, but it was too late. Jin Lily also saw this situation. She was done thinking about it and was going to eat free meals from the country. The inspector took Zhang Chen's certificate and was about to look at it. Rogue! Why did you touch my butt? Jin Lily turned her head and yelled at the man behind her. The person behind him was startled and confused. Just as he was about to defend himself, Jin Lily said to the border guard, "Uncle of the People's Liberation Army, this gangster, he touched my butt." The person behind him defended, "I didn't touch." Jin Lily shouted, "You just touched it." The person behind him stammered, I just pushed you, urging you to hurry up." The inspection soldier stood up and frowned. He returned the document in his hand to Zhang Chen and waved him over. He then glanced at Jin Lily, who was also holding her ID card and border defense certificate. She didn't even look at it. After waving her to pass, he pointed at the person behind Jin Lily and shouted, "You! Come here. ID card and border security card. Show it to me for inspection." The three people walked forward hurriedly and kept looking behind them. When they saw that they were far away from the checkpoint, they stopped. Zhang Chen couldn't help but hug Jin Lily and kissed her. Jin Lily cursed. "It stinks so bad, I'm covered in sweat. My cold sweat is like water." "Lily, you are so awesome, you really look like Pandongza," Lu Ligan said. They had all watched Shining Red Star when they were children, and they all applauded Pandongza for his cleverness in evading inspection. Jin Lily said proudly, "I have made a contribution to the country today." "What contribution?" Zhang Chen asked strangely. "I saved food for the country, free food for 3 people," Jin Lily said. Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen laughed, and Jin Lily also laughed. "The first floor of the cross sea ferry is for loading cars, and the second floor is for the passenger cabins. There are more people crossing the sea than cars. Those cars, even in Haiyan Town, have a hard time reaching the pier. There are people all along the way." The cabin was quickly filled with people, but we had to wait for the cars below to be full before the boat could leave. The wait lasted nearly 2 hours. The smell in the cabin is very bad. Although the windows on both sides are clear, there are people in the cabin 24 hours a day. Every time a guest gets off the cabin, the staff will take a mop and a broom and clean it randomly. The 3 people all arrived on the side of the ship outside the cabin, leaning on the railing and looking outside. Under the weak light, the sea water was dark black. Jin Lily shouted in disappointment, "Why isn't the sea blue?" Not only was it not blue, but it also smelled bad. The sea breeze blowing on their faces had a fishy smell. Fortunately, with a loud sound, the boat finally left the shore. When the Haiyan pier was getting farther and farther away, the three of them finally relaxed. After taking a breath, Zhang Chen told them, "Bring them here, the criminal evidence." The two people knew what Zhang Chen was talking about. They handed the border defense certificate to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen was about to tear it up when Jin Lily shouted, "Wait a minute." She took back her border defense card, tore off the photo on it, and then returned the border defense card to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen stacked the three cards together and tore them off. Jin Lily shouted, "Your photo not anymore?" "No, just let me be buried under this white foam," Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen and Jin Lily glared at him, and then Lu Ligan realized that he was too passionate and buried under the foam. He was not a water ghost. It was so unlucky, especially saying such words at sea. Zhang Chen tore up the border defense certificate and threw it into the sea. After the last light in Haiyan disappeared, the ship sailed in the vast night sea. It didn't take long, and the sky in the distance became clear. Jin Lily shouted excitedly, "Is that Haiyan?" Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan also became excited. The three of them looked at the transparent sky, which gradually turned into a bright light on the horizon, and then saw a trace of earth underneath the bright light. Looking closer, I saw the outline of a city. A crew member passed by them, and Jin Lily shouted, "Master, Master, is that Haiyan?" The crew member nodded without looking back. Probably, he had to be asked by countless such fussy voices in a day. The boat sailed forward for a while, and they could already see the silhouettes of the tall buildings in Haiyan. Jin Lily said excitedly, "Look, look, there are so many tall buildings here. After all, this is Hainan, which is much better than Hangzhou." At that time, there were only 4 or 5 high-rise buildings in Hangzhou, such as the Hangcheng building. Except for the Zhengqiao Hotel, which had just been opened for a few years, all along Jifang Road were short buildings. Even Jibei was still in the old building. The three of them looked at the brightly lit city that was getting closer and closer, and they all had a feeling that they were about to approach the new world. At this time, the boat stopped, the sound of the motor on the boat stopped, and then they heard the clang of the iron chain. There was a sound, the ship anchored in place, and suddenly everything became quiet on the side of the ship. "Why did the boat stop?" Jin Lily asked. "No, at sea, you can't feel it moving," Lu Ligan said. "No, it did stop. There was no sound from the motor," Zhang Chen said. The three people looked inside and outside the ship to confirm that the ship had indeed stopped, and suddenly became nervous. "What's going on? You're not going to come back to check the border security certificate, are you?" Jin Lily asked. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan's first thought was the same. A picture appeared in their minds. After a while, there will be a heavily armed public security border patrol speedboat approaching the ship. The inspectors with guns in hand will board the ship vigorously. The boat will be inspected one by one, and then they will line up, holding their heads in their hands, and be escorted from the boat to the speedboat by border guards armed with live ammunition. "What should I do? We don't even have fake ones anymore," Jin Lily shouted. "Fortunately, it's gone. If we were caught like this, we can still say that we thought the border defense certificate was useless and threw it into the sea. The worst we could do was to take us back to Haiyan. If there is a fake one, it's too late to destroy the evidence now, so we'll just wait to be arrested." "Throw him into jail," Zhang Chen said. They stood there and waited uneasily for a long time, but they did not see the patrol speedboat they imagined appeared. The three of them breathed a sigh of relief. Lu Ligan asked the people next to him, "Why did the boat stop?" The man also looked confused. "Is this Gaha?" "I'll go inside and ask," Lu Ligan said, and went into the cabin. After a while, he came out with a smile. Zhang Chen and Jin Lili were completely relieved when they saw it. "We're queuing up," Lu Ligan told them, "the boat is parked here and we're queuing up." "Queue?" Zhang Chen asked doubtfully. "Yes, the berths at the pier are limited. You have to wait until the docked ship comes out and there is space before the ship can dock," Lu Ligan said. The other two people finally understood. "How much time do you need to wait in line?" Zhang Chen asked. "I don't know," wait, Lu Ligan said, "the people on the boat told me to wait patiently. The boat at the dock will not come out until it is full." The three people walked along the walkway along the side of the ship, found a dry place, and sat down, with nothing on their minds. There was moonlight above their heads, and the sea breeze kept blowing on their faces. The three people lay down on the luggage held in their arms. "Go up and fall asleep." When the sound of the motor woke them up, it was already dawn and the ship was preparing to enter the port. Now they could not only clearly see the tall buildings on the shore, but also the coconut trees on the coastal road and the cars passing back and forth. "Is that a coconut tree?" "I saw a coconut tree, we are in Hainan." Jin Lili pointed to the shore and shouted loudly. Not only Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen, but also other people on the side of the boat were also infected by her shout. Everyone looked excitedly at this strange land in front of them. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 20. They got off the boat at Jiuying Port and walked out of the ticket gate. Immediately, many motorcycles came around and asked them where they were going. Zhang Chen said where to find a job. $3, the other person said, as if he knew where there was work to be found. Zhang Chen was surprised. He said, "I wanted to find a place to work," but the other party still confidently said $3. Lu Ligan asked about other motorcycles and said they were looking for jobs, and the other party also said 3 yuan. The three people were hesitant, so they took 3 motorcycles and walked towards downtown Haikan. The motorcycles were weaving through the traffic. Lu Ligan discovered that the cars on the road were basically Mercedes-Benz. At that time, the streets in Hangzhou were basically Xiaoli and even Santana are considered high-end cars. Unexpectedly, in this city, they are all Mercedes-Benz, followed by Bluebird and Crown. "Haha, we are in the right place," Lu Ligan shouted. "What?" the motorcycle driver asked loudly. "Nothing, nothing," Lu Ligan shouted loudly. In the car in front of her, Jin Lili was sitting on the back seat of a motorcycle, with her arms spread out. She felt like she was flying close to the ground like a bird, with the whirling coconut trees above her head, and the thin and weak morning sunshine, which she had never seen before. The blue sky and the plump coconuts. Jin Lili thought, "Coconut, coconut, why don't you drop one to welcome me?" The motorcycle took them and turned from Binhai Avenue into Lonkan North Road. The junction of Binhai Avenue and Lonkan North Road is the Haikan City Government. Next to it is the Longja Building, behind it is the Financial Garden, and beyond that is the Huayan Building. Jin Lili looked up and looked at the tall buildings piercing into the blue sky above her head, thinking in her heart how happy people must be to work and live in these buildings. The motorcycle took them up the newly built South Bridge, turned left, and followed Haixia Road, passing the Bank of China Building, DC City, and Wanghai Tower, until they reached the entrance of Haikan Hotel and turned left. They saw this, it was crowded. The motorcycle stopped on the side of the road. The owner pointed to the opposite side and said to them, "Look for a job right here." They are all from mainland China. The three people got out of the car, still a little confused. They saw that this was just an open space. There was nothing except a small simple wooden house on one side of the open space. There are just people. A small open space is crowded with people. What jobs can be found here? The three people crossed the road and walked over. When they got closer, they realized that the motorcycle driver had not lied to them. This was indeed a place to find jobs. At the end of the open space, there was a wall 3 to 4 meters high and 20 to 30 meters long. The walls are densely covered with recruitment notices, ranging from hotel waiters to newspaper reporters, company cleaners to company bosses, everything. Many people stood under the advertising wall, writing down the addresses and phone numbers of each company with pens and paper in their hands. There are people constantly holding ladders to post new advertisements. Every time one is posted, a large group of people will rush down to memorize it eagerly. Zhang Chen and the others walked around here, their hearts surging. They had never seen such a recruitment scene before. They just felt that so many positions were waiting for them, and it was not easy to find a job. They found that all the advertisements came from that wooden house. When they took a closer look, they found that the labor department had set up a point here. The employer took the business license and the written recruitment advertisement, paid the money, and handed the advertisement to. They saw that there was no problem, and immediately arranged for someone to get a ladder to put the new advertisement on top of the old one. There are also units recruiting people right here, and they are quickly surrounded by a circle. After listening to the people around them briefly introducing themselves, they point their fingers, you, go to the company for an interview tomorrow. They're shoving business cards into your hands, wrapping up their recruitment efforts before a staff member can come and shoo them away. Then, under the eyes of everyone with infinite admiration, they got into the car parked on the side of the road and drove away. In that wooden house, Lu Ligan bought a copy of the Talent Information newspaper for 50 cents. This newspaper is also run by the Labor Department. It is very popular here, almost everyone has a copy. Except for one page, it reprints some local news and news. Apart from the leader's speech, other pages are filled with recruitment information. The three of them, Zhang Chen, were carrying large and small bags and were not conspicuous here. There were many people like them. The three of them took a deep breath, looked at each other, and left. When they arrived here, they all felt at home. Their future on this island would start from here, and the work on the wall was, and the frighteningly high salary indicate that their future has various possibilities and is bright. They saw on the wall that even the waiter's salary was 800 yuan, while in Yongchang, even the county magistrate's salary was less than 200 yuan, and they themselves only had a little over 100 yuan. It seems that Hainan is indeed full of gold. Let's go inside first and see if there are any coconuts to pick up. Jin Lily pointed to the coconut grove behind the advertising wall and shouted, "That is Haikan Park, which is also the People's Park. The same park, enter from the gate of Renmin Road, is called People's Park, and enter from here opposite the Haikan Hotel, it's called Haikan Park. Since there are so many job opportunities, what are you worried about? You can just relax first. Okay, find a place. I will study it carefully and select it to see if there is any job that can fully display our talents." Lu Lepol shook the Talent Information newspaper in his hand. They didn't have time to pick up coconuts. Instead, they saw a coconut seller at the entrance of Haikan Park, so they spent 1 yuan to buy a coconut. The boss killed the coconut and inserted a straw into it. Jin Lily was the first to grab it and drink it. After taking a sip, she frowned and almost spit it out. She gave the coconut to Zhang Chen and shouted, "No way, why does it taste so bad? It tastes like rotten sweet potatoes." Zhang Chen took a sip and immediately spat it out. He felt that Jin Lily was right, this was the taste of rotten sweet potatoes. Lu Lizan took it and spit it out after taking a sip. He looked at the two of them and said, "Are we being cheated? Is this coconut broken?" Zhang Chen and Jin Lily nodded, they also thought it was possible. "I'll go find the boss." Lu Ligan took the coconut and was about to go back. Zhang Chen quickly stopped him, "Forget it, it's only 1 yuan. He's a local, so don't look for trouble." Lu Ligan walked to the roadside and poured the water into the grass. Lu Ligan shouted to them, "Come here and take a look. Do you see that the coconut juice Zhen Zhen drinks every day is milky white? This and it's the same as dishwater, so it must be bad." Zhang Chen and Jin Lily looked at it and agreed that the coconut must be broken. There are piles of men and women in the park. Many people are spreading newspapers on the ground and sleeping with their travel bags as pillows. It seems that they have slept all night and are not ready to get up yet. The three of them found a shade of a tree and sat down. Zhang Chen took the newspaper from Lu Ligan and started reading. Jin Lily lay down with her head on Zhang Chen's thigh. She said that the people on the boat, I haven't even straightened it yet, I'm exhausted. Lu Ligan had nothing to do and stood up. He said I was going to go shopping and walked away. About half an hour later, Lu Ligan came back with a serious look on his face. Zhang Chen asked him what happened. Lu Ligan shook his head and said to him, the situation is very serious. What's the serious situation? Zhang Chen asked curiously. Look at these people, do you know what they do? Lu Ligan pointed at the piles of people not far away and said. What are you doing? Zhang Chen asked. Here, let me tell you, it is a concentrated display of famous universities across the country. Did you see those piles, those from Peking University, then Tsinghua University, and the National People's Congress, here, yes, here, from the University of Science and Technology. In the pavilion there are also students from Fudan University and East China Normal University, and I also saw students from our Zhejiang University, Lu Ligan said. Shameless, you from Zhejiang University, do you really think that you are from Zhejiang University? Zhang Chen scolded. Isn't this about meeting their comrades? Other schools are fine. When I got to Zhejiang University, they made sure to ask me which department I was in, so I escaped back. Lu Ligan smiled sheepishly, and Zhang Chen also laughed. Laughing out loud. Damn it, there are always thousands of college students in this park, Lu Ligan cursed. What are they doing here? Zhang Chen asked. They all have no jobs and no money, so they live in the park. Some of them have been living there for more than 10 days and they all stink, Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen looked around, and suddenly he felt that the situation was getting serious.